Hi, welcome back to section 4 of this course on serverless architectures and best practices. In this section, you will learn how to build a single well-architected service in order to ease out the building of complex architecture. More specifically, you will learn an introduction to layered architectures and what they mean for a single service and for overall architecture. Then we will discuss each one of the suggested layers deeply in details and how it can be used to ease out development and to make your application grow and scale up to billions of requests and services. Finally, an hands-on session, create, update, and delete service for a simple entity. So please remember that having a well-architected service means starting well with a good architecture for your ecosystem, since a multi-service ecosystem is built of many microservices. In this video, we are gonna discuss what is layered architecture and what are the benefits of layered architecture. But first of all, after introducing to you what a layer architecture is, we will discuss about separation of concern and the benefit that this principle takes to software development. Moving on, we will consider a layer solution and the benefits that a layer architecture can bring into your next application. But first of all, let's start talking about what a REST endpoint is and the fact that every REST endpoint is based and is built on the request response model. Request response model Roundtrip means that every HTTP request that hits your endpoint must perform different operation, but they are always the same kind of operation for every request that is handled by your service. The first operation is extracting path variable, query string, and headers. And if you are using API Gateway and Lambda, this could be achieved at the API Gateway level or at the Lambda level. Since we are using Lambda proxy integration, we are passing the complete event object coming from HTTP to the Lambda function. So our Lambda will have to extract all these parameters from the HTTP request. Then we are going to validate the input in order to be sure that no misleading and no malicious data has been sent to your service. After that, we'll perform the logic operation that are forecasted, that are needed by that service, and they can also involve database communication, and the final act will be to build a response object, translate this response object to an HTTP response, and send that back to the caller. But first of all, we have to focus on a very important stuff, which is coupling. Because at the end, every single microservice within your serverless architecture could be made of just one single Node.js file. But in my opinion, this is not really a good idea, because every operation, even if split into a function, is coupled to the other. And you cannot reuse your code within different services or different architectures. And also, some lifecycle operations, such as updates and multiple rollouts, are not easily achieved, but the worst effect of such kind of coupling will be the fact that you won't be able to migrate to another on-premise or other provider solution, because everything is coupled together, is coupled to the Lambda code, is coupled to the AWS specific intrinsics. And so this means also that your service is coupled to persistence. So you cannot change persistency without rewriting all your service. A layer architecture, on the other side, is exactly the opposite of the spectrum because it forces you to split your service architecture into different slices or layers. And once a service has been split into a different or into a number of slices, you can define communication APIs between them and refactor your code into modules, bring the modules out from the single Node.js file into different files, and you can also improve the overall quality using dependency injection. Dependency injection is a common pattern in modern applications that arose in the last few years due to the fact that allows for substituting inheritance with composition within your architecture. And the basic idea of dependency injection is that each module depends from others, but it does not require to instantiate them. Dependencies are instantiated outside the modules by a container object and also manage the life cycle of the dependency and are injected whenever a module is required within the module just before instantiation and before returning the modules to the caller. So the container object is something that really helps you in managing and building a complex layer architecture. A layer architecture has a number of benefits, and we can just focus on the three most evident benefits of this kind of service architecture. The first one is that you can switch every layer independently from others. This means that you can improve, you can fix, and you can also evolve every layer within your service without needing to touch the other layers that are using it. On the other side, since services are made of independent layers, you made the upper level of your service independent from the persistence that you choose. So you can change persistence without needing to rewrite all the service that you have built. On the other side, you can also move your service out from Lambda because all the code, as we will see in a couple of minutes, all the code depending from Lambda architecture, from Lambda services, from AWS is constrained within one single layer. So switching that layer means that you can switch from AWS to Azure to another provider. This is a really powerful technique. It allows you to scale your service up to many different logics implementation, many different persistences, and it puts you in the position to implement evolutionary architectures. This also means that since complex system architectures are made of a number of microservices, once your microservice is well architected, you are starting out of the box having a well architecture system within your code. So trust me, do not rely on poor architectural choices within your service, because the architectural choices that we are going to implement in the latter sections will benefit a lot from a layer architecture within a single service.